So I'm outside Acton Town Tube Station, gateway on the Piccadilly line to Uxbridge, Rayners Lane, and also the Heathrow branch. Piccadilly lines haven't always run to Heathrow. In fact, it used to be the District line. So today, I'm going to take a ride west from Acton down towards Heathrow and explain the history of this branch.
The line out to Heathrow starts at Acton Town, which opened in 1879 as Mill Hill Park. It would get renamed to Acton Town later. It was in 1883 that the railways went west. Back then, the Piccadilly line didn't exist, and it was built as part of the Metropolitan District Railway, what we know now as the District Line. The stations that first opened were South Ealing, Boston Road, Osterley and Springgrove, and Hounslow, which was quickly renamed to Hounslow Town. Osterley and Springgrove is now an abandoned station, later replaced by Osterley, but you can still see the original platforms today, and the old station building is still there too. It's now been turned into a bookshop. It's about a 5-minute walk down the main road from the current day Osterley station if you ever want to go and see it. In 1884, just a year after the line had first opened, it extended west again, with a station called Hounslow Barracks, followed swiftly by a station at Heston and Hounslow. At the same time, the spur down to Hounslow Town closed with trains running straight through, except that in 1903 it opened up again, with also a new curve of track that allowed trains that had gone to Hounslow Town to keep heading west. But that didn't last long, and in the years of 1908 to 1909, that loop of track closed, Hounslow Town closed, and Northfield Ealing Station opened. And if you get out at Osterley Station, then there's a neat thing that you can do. You can walk along the path that the railway used to be on to take it down to Hounslow Town. If you cross the road by going through the subway, and then, with the Piccadilly line on your right, you keep walking until you get to Springgrove Road. Here, there's a bridge where trains go across the road, but this was the point where the curve of track used to come off and head down towards the original station. And it's now this footpath here which you can walk down.
And that's the footpath I'm on now with Piccadilly line trains up there. Hello, welcome to the new bit for 2023. Yes, this path runs parallel to the side of the Piccadilly line. Until it gets to this point here, which I'm just about to go around, it bends to the left. There we go, down here, away from the railway, and this is now following the path of the old line down to Hounslow Town. And that brings you out here to this housing estate, which we'll cut through in a minute. What this is, though, is the curve of track, of course, to the east of Hounslow Station that sort of curves down. You can very clearly see it on Google Maps. What I can't see on Google Maps, and there's no trace of, I've looked, is the curve of track that would have come out of Hounslow Town and then sort of curved back west. I can't find that. But going into this housing estate here, what's fun to note is that there's a wall here, and up behind that is where the track would have gone. And sort of through there, there's like some buildings there, but again, it's easy to see on Google 3D view. If you zoom in and sort of rotate around, you can see a path very clearly where either there's been a gap left or some buildings have been infilled, and that's where the railway would have run. But we are approaching Hounslow Town, which is now a bus station. And there is nothing left of Hounslow Tube Station today. The site of it, in fact, is this very pretty building. It's Hounslow Bus Garage. It does have a nice roundel, though.
A new Hounslow station, though, was built on the direct line through, and then, 2 years later, in 1911, Northfield Ealing Station was renamed to Northfields and Little Ealing, Boston Road was renamed to Boston Manor, and then in 1925, some more renaming took place.
So Hounslow Central, Cute Station, got renamed, and one stop down the line, Hounslow Barracks also got renamed and moved.
In fact, Hounslow Town was renamed to Hounslow East, Heston and Hounslow was renamed to Hounslow Central, and Hounslow Barracks became Hounslow West. But the current day Hounslow West is not where it originally used to be. Yes, where the original tracks and platforms used to be at Hounslow West, that's now been turned into the station car park. To get to the new platforms, a long boring walkway has been constructed which looks well out of place compared to the rest of the gorgeous station building. But you can also come up to this brick wall and peer over for excellent views of the trains down below. The car park, though, is just a car park, with the occasional shopping trolley and planes flying overhead. and so into the modern era, where in 1933 trains from the Piccadilly line now started to run down this way, although District line trains still also ran up until 1964. A new Northfield station then opened, and Osterley and Spring Grove that we saw earlier closed, with the current day Osterley opening in its place just a little way down the line. Into the 1970s, and the old Hounslow West closes, and a new one opens on the same day, with the line now going down to a new station at Hatton Cross.
Which is where I find myself now, and it's still looking as bland as it did when it was first built in the 1970s. And to go to the airport back then, because trains terminated here, you then had to get a bus to take you down, but the line was eventually extended.
In 1977, Heathrow Central Tube Station opened, which was later renamed to Heathrow Terminals 1, 2, 3. That was followed by Heathrow Terminal 4 in 1986, and then into this century, Heathrow Terminal 5 station opened in 2008, until finally Heathrow Terminals 1, 2, 3 was renamed to just 2 and 3 when Terminal 1 at the airport closed, which brings us all the way to where we are now.
I'll leave you from the delights of Hatton Cross Underground Station, and that is the history of the Heathrow branch of the Piccadilly line.